So, it would seem Taylor Farms isn't the only one causing a ruckus on the Tookus, if you know what I mean. But if you don't, earlier this week, an airline flight in China allegedly had a catastrophe on board when several people nearly shit themselves. The reason being, a number of passengers had accepted some in-flight refreshments in the form of prune juice, which, if you're unaware, has a common use case for promoting gut health in the way of a laxative cleanse. If you didn't know, prune juice contains a sorbitol, which is a sugar alcohol that doesn't fully get absorbed in the small intestine. Instead, it makes its way into the colon, and then it brings excess water with it, which means it then softens your shit and it makes it easier for this shit to go out your butt. Basically, it's a funny little juice that makes you shit yourself if you have enough of it. So, of the roughly 100 passengers aboard this plane, about 24 started developing some not so great symptoms of, oh God, I'm gonna shit myself. Now, that wouldn't be such a big deal, but here's the problem. They're on a plane. The plane has only 2 bathrooms, and the flight was like on average 4.5 hours. These guys had to stand in line for the bathroom on a plane waiting for their turn to blast their asses out. Dude, this is crazy. Imagine, have you ever been on a road trip and you got to a point where you're like, oh man, I really need to go to the bathroom. And then you start noticing like all the vibrations of the road and like the car, and you're like, oh, this is really like jumbling my stomach. I'm just turns from like needing to go to the bathroom into like, oh, this is gonna be a problem if I don't pull off at a gas station or something. Now imagine you're on a fucking plane and the plane is having turbulence and you fucking got full of bubble guts going on in your stomach and you just really, really need to shit yourself because you drank an excessive amount of prune juice, all while there's only 2 bathrooms and mostly everyone else also drank prune juice, so they also have to shit. So there's like a line going down the aisle and you're like, oh, you really gotta go, and then you're just like, oh, there's just no relief or anything. What a nightmare situation. All of this is alleged, by the way, because the Chinese airline that this took place on is actively denying that it ever happened. So it's basically Poopgate. This is Poopgate has happened, and it was on a plane. You may be wondering, Hertz, what's the takeaway from all this? Why are you telling me all about this? You know, what's the point? I don't know, man. I just saw this shit on Twitter, and then I read a couple articles about it, and I thought it was fucking funny, so I just wanted to talk about it. I guess the takeaway is, don't drink prune juice on a 4-hour flight, or you'll probably shit yourself. Bye.